Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Casting Seeds. I'm Savannah, your holistic health practitioner and host.
And I'm Jeremiah, your co-host.
And you're listening to the only holistic health podcast that uses God's singular truth to give you individualized discernment.
Hello.
Welcome to the tech episode, finally. Yay!
Took us a while.
It's
Definitely.
okay. We had things going on.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
With life. Not so much anything else, more so with life. But I'm super excited because for the first time ever, besides asking Jeremiah questions that you guys have had about a man's point of view on certain things, I get to genuinely interview my husband, Jeremiah.
Oh, you didn't say this was an interview. You just said I'd talk about tech.
Well, I mean, I get to ask questions.
Okay.
Are you just going to talk?
I'm going to talk at you. What's your question?
Maybe we can do one in the future too about building stuff, since you're a handyman. How to holistically build a household.
That'd be kind of fun.
No pressure, babe. So my husband Jeremiah is a multifaceted, very talented man. He is amazing in all things like building and MacGyver. He could help rebuild an entire car. He has helped build houses from scratch. If our home blew up, Jeremiah could build us a home from scratch and know how to do it, which is amazing. And I credit his dad for teaching him a lot of basic great wisdom, because his dad is a general contractor and Jeremiah was under his tutelage for quite some time and could actually be considered a general contractor. You just don't have the licensure. Jeremiah also, within that time frame, got into tech and specifically did a data what was it?
So technically I'm an analyst, but I started in video games and I started testing. So I do a lot of different things. I build websites, I test websites, I test data, I test software, I test all kinds of stuff, and I normally create all the documentation for companies.
But he still has really great general knowledge, also getting into cybersecurity, and just he's able to break things down and explain things, especially to me, who is not a tech savvy person. And he built also my first website completely from scratch. So Jeremiah I'm very proud to be his wife, but also very thankful to be his wife, because literally all the things I can't stand to do and that I'm bad at, my husband not only thrives in doing, but loves doing. So amen, Lord. Thank you.
So one thing that makes me kind of special for this interview, I guess, is one of my jobs as a tester of analytics is to try to break into them and take the data for myself. And so I do a lot of research into all the stuff that's going on in the world for data and security, because I really enjoy it. And I mean, just like a fun fact, I don't know if you guys know, but in 2017, I think it was almost 150 million people lost their security, social security IDs.
Yeah, it was
because
really
Equifax got broken into by China. And fun fact, every single ID is worth $50. So whoever got their stuff stolen, somebody made $50 off of it.
Yeah, which means it's also worth a lot more in China. But we'll get into that more in a moment, because we're not in data yet. I want to go over all the things in this episode that we're going to talk about, because there's quite a few different things, and why tech is important for holistic health and why people should care. I feel like a lot of people tend to focus in holistic health for the things tangible that we see right in front of us. So even with tech, they tend to focus more on I feel like EMF radiation, and even some people still find that a little bit quacky. Any type of radiation from technology at all, or I feel like screen time, they tend to protect their eyes, just kind of, I feel like surface level things, because it's physical and tangible to us. But the thing that we want to get you guys to question more so today in today's episode is, are you really protecting yourselves online and your children, and making sure that things aren't being stolen from you and companies and people aren't making money off of you in ways where, one, you could make that money yourself, or two, making sure that you are just not a number in the cog, basically. And why does that matter holistically? It's because the internet is so deeply intertwined into everyday lives now. And if you don't protect your security, if you don't protect your image, even with AI and things like that coming out, your data, your, the frequencies and things like that. If you don't do this thing physically and also in a tech space as well, then you technically aren't being truly holistic in a software language, I guess is the best way to put it. So, and you'll hear why, especially that's going to become more and more important throughout this episode. But we want to give you guys all of the facts so that you feel prepared. And when you're going to talk to, whether it's a spouse or a child, or even someone who's elderly who doesn't understand what they're sharing on the internet and all of the information, I would just like to say it is so important. For instance, the other day, just to give a quick anecdote before Jeremiah gets started, a girl, sorry, I'll tell you guys, I'm like out of breath today. We're 14 and a half weeks right now, and I'm so out of breath. Anyway, a girl actually commented something really nasty and disgusting in an open topic conversation where a trans woman, aka a man who was trying to become a woman, was posting and bragging about getting bottom surgery. And I just, on those types of things, I always comment hey, just want to let you know the Lord designed you perfectly the way that you are. If you need anything, let me know. And I'm praying for you that you see that you are already perfectly designed, And yeah, some people are like, why do you even care? But I want those people to know that they're loved. And I feel like I kind of do that online anyway. That's a presence that I have where I love on people in that way. And, I feel called to do those things. But a girl commented underneath some really horrific stuff. Like the first one was, she was casting Satan upon our family. And I was like, girl, you can try that all you want, but God already won. So love you and praying for you. And then after that, she was like, I pray that your kids, or she was like, I curse that your kids will hate you. And, just really disgusting, stupid things. And so, and you guys, this is how easy it was to find any information about her because this girl did not protect herself at all. I clicked on her name. She had a second profile that was linked to her Instagram. I clicked on that one, and all of her friends and family were on that profile, right? I saw who her mom was, her dad, all that stuff. So then I went onto Facebook, and I actually did this specifically for our episode. I wasn't trying to attack her in any way. But I went onto her Facebook, and then I typed in her first name, even though she was like a she, they, she looked like a girl. I don't know. I typed in her first name, and I typed in her mom's last name. And how did I find that out? It was easy to find a picture where her mom was just like, I love you. I'm so proud of you, my sweet daughter. It was open to the public. I typed it in, and she lives in Washington, D.C. She grew up in Pennsylvania. I found the high school that she went to and graduated to. I found her work that she's currently at right now. It would be so easy to just screenshot those things and destroy her life if I wanted to. Send it to all of her friends and family. But she has zero protection of who she is, all of her information. And it would have been so easy to even find her address because I could call her work, pretend to be a family member, and say that there was something missing or be her. I saw... there are scammers like that out there who will get this type of information about you. It's called social hacking. Yeah. So I just want to let you guys know, obviously I didn't have any male intent. I didn't have any malintent with it. But, when people kind of poke at you like that, or imagine if I really pissed her off in some way and I had all this information out there, she could easily hurt me and my family, right? So this type of information, whether you'd like to know this or not, could literally be a life or death situation for you, your family, especially the older people in your family and your kids. This is how predators find children. This is how people take people's, what is their money that they have? Retirement funds. So many things can happen. So this is why this is so important. And it is a very holistic topic that people need to be made aware of. So
this is actually...
Is it a good segue?
No, yes, it's a good segue, but I just want to say social hacking is huge.
Yeah.
Video games is a great example. There's a thing in the video game industry, not industry, but the realm of those people who use chats and stuff. There is somebody who was killed by a SWAT team because somebody called SWAT on this family, and the father was killed of the son that was getting bullied online.
Yeah. Yeah, people make false accusations and false calls because someone pisses them off.
Yeah.
And it literally takes one person just with
one mistake,
enough temperament, enough anger. And this is why Jesus even says, which has been a hot topic that you and I have been praying about and talking about a lot this week in 1 John. God makes it so clear that even if you have any type of anger in your heart towards someone, that's still considered murder. A lot of people don't realize how much anger they have in their lives and in their heart and how quickly and easily it is to act it out.
Yeah. So should we start with some of the lighter subjects and then we'll jump into data?
Yeah, that'll be good. We can hold everyone on suspense to get into the deeper stuff because it's also nice to kind of gradually build because they all build on each other in a way, right?
Yeah.
Yes and no?
Yes and no. External
to internal?
Yeah.
Let's start with the easy stuff, the tangible stuff first.
Tangible stuff. Okay. Let's start with one I feel like anybody in their late 20s or early 30s are going to really relate to that played video games or spent too much time behind a phone or computer or something.
Yeah. It's good to do for kids. All the parents
told us if you spend too much time on there, you're going to need glasses. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of true.
Yeah. We've had a huge rate in eyewear that's been a necessity for especially millennials, and Gen Z's even worse than millennials.
They call it digital eye strain, and it's not only just because of you being so close to your cell phone or so far away from your TV, but like all the colors and stuff. It's also blue light that has interfered with people's eyesights and also has then affected their sleep and anxiety and fatigue and long hours after like desks at working at jobs like my job behind a computer 8 hours a day, and then I'd go home, play video games. My eyes were toast after about 3 months of that.
Can I ask you a question? Because I know you have really expensive blue light glasses.
Yeah.
So there are ones that are online that are like $20, and I'm assuming that those don't work. There's a reason why they're so inexpensive. I know that they're just kind of like yellow shaded. Yeah. So I read this, and you can tell me if this is true or not. I read that the ones that are like just the shade, like where the glass is just yellow to counterbalance, only works for like 10% of the blue light. And then the really expensive glasses that like they're like thick or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how they add more of the yellow or how it works. But I was going to ask, do you know why they're more expensive and why they work better?
So there's fake yellow. And then there's real yellow. There's real glasses that are designed and developed, and they're tested. And if you got a blue laser and you pointed it right at that yellow glass, it would not reflect.
What is fake yellow made out of? What the heck?
It's just colored glass.
Okay, so colored. Yeah, so that's what I was reading.
It's just colored glass. That's it. They just added pigment versus there's glass that's actually tempered and like specifically designed to reflect.
Okay, so that's why it costs so much more.
Oh, sorry. So the blue laser would go through the lens if it's fake, and if it's real, it'll reflect and bounce off of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So did your glasses come with a blue laser to test?
No, but I've watched enough YouTube videos to see that it was tested.
Okay.
And I trusted the sources.
Do you know the brand of your glasses?
They are developed by Gunnar. They are a specific company that develops eyewear for video game and programmers.
Okay.
And then the reason mine costs a little bit more than normal ones, I think the normal price would have been probably $70. My frame was built by a company called Razer, the company
my client.
Yeah. And so they collaborated and they developed their own eyewear, so I bought one of those.
Okay. Yeah, I know that there's also a really, popular holistic company that's on there right now, and theirs are like $200.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You definitely get it cheaper than $200.
Yeah. Okay, so there are legit ones that are in between price.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great. We can put those up in the show notes then for people at the end. Also, Jeremiah was not prepared for that question. No. I just know that if we're going to talk about eyewear, we should talk about some sort of protection.
Definitely.
I can also add that as well to the shop. Do you think they make kid-sized glasses? I wonder.
I don't know that for a fact.
I will say on techwellness.com, they have glasses of all shapes and sizes for all ages. And she's pretty legit because she is super sensitive to EMF, super sensitive to Bluetooth and any type of screens at all.
Yeah.
So I will say if people don't like the ones that we have posted, go to techwellness.com. She's amazing.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll let you continue.
No, that was good. And then also, like, it does affect our sleep. And I know for myself, I suffered from insomnia, and mine was due to a head injury. And then when I would play too late, it would literally laser burn into my eyes. Like, I had to close my eyes and I'd be able to see whatever screen I was looking at for the last 4 hours.
Well, also too, it's very addictive. The blue light, it keeps your neurons going and working faster. Mm-hmm. That's why people who do it before bed and wake up in the morning and check their phones or on screens right away, it's almost like they can't stop. It helps them, like they've almost had like a hyperactive come down where it helps their brain because you get distracted and then you fall asleep. It's like people who want to watch TV while going to bed, and it actually raises your heart rate, your blood pressure. It creates higher cortisol. It doesn't allow your liver to process the way that it needs to and are able to calm down, because blue light is actually when the sun is rising in the morning, that's your body's alertness to wake up. That's why sunsets tend to be more red, orange,
calming.
Exactly. Colors that help calm you down. And that's why red light is like the hot rage of people turning on red, not LED lights, but red, not fluorescent bulbs. What are those bulbs that we have in our house?
Which bulbs?
The special bulbs that
LED?
we got. No. We removed the LED ones.
Yeah, fluorescent.
Is that the old school ones?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember. I'll look it up to confirm. But you can get red. People will have red ones that they'll turn on specifically for nighttime, and they walk around and their house is like bright red to help them settle. And then
kind of creepy.
Yeah. And then they don't use any blue light for 4 hours before going to bed.
Wow. That's interesting. I do know there is this whole conspiracy why they specifically chose blue light for screens instead of red light, because apparently they had a choice, but they choose to lead with blue. It's like if you wear the 3D glasses, one lens is red, the other one's blue.
Yeah.
They purposely chose.
Well, blue light keeps you awake and keeps you focused.
It's able to keep your attention to the screen longer.
Yeah. It keeps it more addictive.
Yeah.
That's why there are special blue light stoppers for screens. I have one actually on my screen on my phone, and I think it kind of works. I don't think it works as well as like Jeremiah's glasses per se, but it can help to a degree, which is nice. But let's move on to the next thing that you have.
Yeah. Okay, so let's jump on to EMF. EMF is electromagnetic frequencies. This is a discharge from anything that's electronic that puts off a form of radiation. A lot of people do not believe this is true. A lot of people think that
it's measurable, though. That's crazy to me.
I don't really have words for it. I've talked to a lot of people about this, and I would say 80% do not believe this is real. And so they actually have companies out there that are developed by the government to research EMF.
Yeah.
And so the company SAR, they measure a value that corresponds to the relative amount of RF energy that is absorbed in the head of users for like wireless headsets. The FCC is limited for public exposure from cell phones. And SAR also gives us a measurement of like what is in most devices, which is 1.6 watts. This also brings into your Wi-Fi. This brings in your television. This is also being used in people's refrigerators, washer and dryer now because of Samsung and like Apple, and people have those Nest eggs that are in their house.
Those like, isn't that the EMF detector? Isn't that what people use to like ghost hunt?
Yeah, it is.
I always thought that was funny.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
The thing is with what they're using versus what you're supposed to use, that would not be able to pick up how low the frequency is.
Okay.
So this requires...
Which techwellness.com actually has legit EMF detectors too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she has 4 different kinds for different types of EMF radiation and how to measure it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That might be fun to get.
Yeah, August is a cool chick.
Yeah. So, I mean, the reason I'm saying all this is because, yes, one cell phone, the EMF coming off of one cell phone.
Yeah. What is that?
Not harmful. 1.6 watts.
Well, if you have it there all day sitting next to like your groin.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
I just said having it.
What does that mean?
Having it near you. Okay, so iPhone 14.
What is near? What does that mean?
Having it on your desk right there.
So not touching it.
Not touching it.
Okay. But
it's just putting off 1.6 watts.
But touching it.
Touching it, it is now producing a heat that is now infecting your body, which is insane.
Yeah, think about what computers do when people put on their laptops on their lap.
It's insane. So I have one example, and I think this one example it should be enough. Anybody with an iPhone could go research this right now.
Okay.
iPhone 14, it's in their disclaimer. If you just go into the settings and you go look at your policies and everything, it tells you, it warns you.
What?
Holding a phone, putting it in a pocket, using a metal case, or putting an Apple Watch up to your face could cause you to exceed the FCC exposure limits.
What is the limit?
1.4.
So just touching it changes the limit.
Yes.
Whoa. Yeah, this is why I've never liked Apple Watches and stuff.
It's the phone itself.
I know, but I'm saying the one that's like it's constantly on you all day and all night.
And I know we have listeners that listen to us, and I've had this conversation with a few of them.
Yeah.
They don't believe me.
Yeah.
It's in the iPhone disclaimer.
Whoa. Well, okay. So then if people are like, well, I'm a tech person and I don't like iPhones because most of you techies don't like iPhones.
No, we don't.
So
it's the Apple.
Do you think it would be, do you think it would be, I have an iPhone, so Jeremiah's digging at me, in like other disclaimers as well?
No.
You don't think it'd be like Google phones or Samsung?
No. iPhone got sued.
Oh, so they have to reveal it.
They have to reveal it.
So the other phone companies don't have to because they haven't been sued.
And like we'll go into data because of this also later.
Oh my gosh. See, this is why Jeremiah wanted to start with the simple stuff because it's not so simple.
Yeah. So
what else then?
Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, TV, radios, internet, everything that transfers data through the airwaves, how much of that is combined into our bodies and how much can we actually handle at the end of the day?
Yeah. Well, okay.
There's no study and there's actually nothing I can't say about that.
So what's interesting? When Jeremiah and I used to turn off the Wi-Fi every night and like not have our phones charging near us, we both, slept better. Also, I would say we were intimate a lot more because we were just laying in bed and like talking more and
nothing else better to do.
Like there wasn't those distractions, I felt like we had Bible time more in bed. We did it for like a few months. Was it a few months or at least a month? We didn't stay with it very long. I'm going to be 100%
It's hard.
honest.
Phones are addicting.
Well, that and also as well, like when like I run my own business and stuff and clients are texting me late and like it's hard to set those boundaries sometimes. Or like I know someone's going to text me early in the morning or you use it as a alarm clock, like all those things, even though we have no excuse because we have an actual alarm clock in our room. But what I was going to say is when we were in Mexico, the only time I've ever really felt like a significant difference where I just was like, oh my gosh, I can actually feel this radiating through my body. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Yeah, that cable that fell.
Yeah, an electrical cable fell while we were on our honeymoon. And literally as we were driving up to it, I was like, what is this ringing in my head? Why do I have an instant headache? And Jeremiah was like, whoa, my head hurts too. And our driver was like, I don't feel good. Like we all felt really nauseous. And then my teeth started buzzing and we found out that an entire, like on a whole block, wires were exposed and there was like literal electricity
in the air.
Yeah. And I've never felt like my heart started pounding. I've never felt anything like that before.
Yeah.
And also the air is more humid there, so it's easier for the electrons to literally pass through the air faster. I like literally my hair stood up on my arms. It was crazy.
Have you ever seen those towers that are so much taller than all the other towers and they're transferring electricity?
Yeah.
No one's allowed to live underneath those or near them.
But people do live kind of close to them.
Yeah.
I know
and
people.
You're not supposed to. I think it's state by state, but most states will not allow you to build anywhere near them.
Wow. Yeah, that's not a thing here. I see people in really nice neighborhoods live next to those giant things.
It's very unhealthy. You're literally cooking your body.
Yeah. So let me just say, I never thought this kind of stuff was mumbo jumbo because I understood that even just a frequency, like a sound wave, can deeply affect people. So an electrical wave, which is literally visual, we can see it.
Yeah.
It makes sense that could affect someone, whether it's so low that it's a Wi-Fi frequency or as high as a literal electrical volt.
Yeah.
It's still within the same.
If you think of a microwave, there's no heating element in a microwave.
Yeah,
it's literally just electrons being pushed
vibrating
and compressed so that it heats up.
Yeah.
And that's why you lose so much nutrition out of it.
Yeah.
Because if it was a heating element, it'd just be like an oven.
Yeah.
But and so in that same sense, you got to think about all these different wavelengths and electromagnetic frequencies that are being pushed into our air.
Yeah.
And what's that doing to our bodies. And they're not going to share this.
Yeah.
You know?
This is why on our baby registry, I actually got a Wi-Fi kill switch. I put it on our registry from the Tech Wellness website.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like $40.
Interesting. I could just put a timer on it, just like a sprinkler system.
Well, it's like an all house like kill. So like if anything happens or someone like, it's just nice because you can turn it on and off from bed or whatever.
Okay.
And then the other thing that I got was actually a plugged in because I don't want our child exposed to a ton of this radiation. Mm-hmm. So I got I put on our registry. What are those cameras for kids? What are they? The
nanny cam?
Not a nanny cam. The one that it's like a bed one where you can watch them sleeping. Anyway.
Sounds like a nanny cam.
I don't know. I don't remember what it's called because my pregnancy brain. What I'm trying to say is it plugs in hard. It's a hard wire into the wall. So there's no Wi-Fi and no Bluetooth involved. Yeah. It can connect wirelessly to our phone, which is kind of nice. Or you can buy the separate thing that you also plug into a wall.
Okay.
Like the screen to be able to see your child. But yeah, it's expensive. It's almost $300.
Wow.
Which is crazy. If someone gets that for us, it will be a blessing. But it's nice to know that we could still visually see our child and things can be hardwired in. And that's the other thing I want to say, that all of your electronics, including your phone, your laptop, your computers, whatever, your TV, all of these things can be hardwired in so that they don't have...
Your phone can't be hardwired.
Yes, it can. She sells them on her website. They just have to have really long cords.
I've never heard of it, but that looks really cool.
Yeah, we paused. I showed it to Jeremiah on the Tech Wellness website because he didn't think it was possible. And it is.
Things are developing. They're finding new ways to get around the harmful stuff.
It's annoying though. You do have it's connected to a cable.
That's...
And that's the thing too. Even touching it, she has people prop their phones up on stands, and then she has those pens that have like the soft thing on it, so you can like scroll and tap things.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's called. A stylus.
Touchscreen. Yeah, stylist.
With the stylus, you don't touch it still because it has radiation, but then you can still use these things.
Well, when you plug it in, the radiation turns into an actual electromagnetic frequency. Yeah. And it actually is in microdosing, electrocuting you every single time you touch it.
Yeah, that's why she has you not touch it. But it's a way to then limit the Wi-Fi radiation and Bluetooth radiation exposure, and then you won't get the electrical exposure because you're not touching it. So it's not perfect by any means, but it significantly lowers your exposure.
Yeah. If I would make a suggestion, if you need to use the internet and you're at home, don't use your phone.
Yeah.
Go to your computer that's hardwired in and use it.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
A lot of people, though, have like Bluetooth keyboards and mouses. So would that even, should you change those out? And because yours are wired.
Yeah.
Would the wired be better?
Wired's always better.
Okay. It's faster too, right?
It's faster also. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Bluetooth is catching up to the regular speed of cables, but I mean, for a great example, most of the world does not know that their internet and their phone calls is all under our ocean.
Yeah.
We don't really use satellites to transfer data.
No, yeah. All of our Wi-Fi, all of our internet is
Underneath the water. It's all cable.
Yeah.
So when they're like, we're using satellites, no, they're not. No, they're not.
Maybe for GPS and things like that.
Yeah. Like,
and then if you're a flat earther or more extreme on that, you don't even believe in satellites. Right?
No,
in space, right?
You still believe in satellites because there's still an atmosphere that you can get into, and things are technically floating in like an isolated state.
Oh yeah,
but they still maneuver around the world. But
we are not flat earthers, by the way.
It's a fun conversation to always think about.
Jeremiah loves sending me flat Earth stuff, and it makes me so mad.
I enjoy conspiracy theories because I know conspiracy theories are the amount of truth that is actually given to the public.
Anyway, let's move on to other things because that's insane.
All right, let's see. Should we jump into how social media?
Don't ask me, just lead it.
Okay.
3, 2.
I want to jump into social media and video games a little bit.
Okay.
And
what about them?
So, let's say I'm going to talk about the healthy thing about both subjects, social media and video games. Video games has shown in what do you call it? Science?
Like test.
Yeah,
testing?
they've done tests on video games and individuals who play certain types of video games.
What types?
So specifically like shooting games, racing games that require you to start building your reflexes.
Okay.
People that have done that are now being tested, and they're able to multitask faster than normal people. Mm-hmm. They're able to keep track of objects, and most of them are less colorblind because of it. They're able to see different details that most people are not able to identify quickly.
Okay.
And their hand-eye coordination is much better than most.
Okay.
And also their eyes are able to adjust to distance better than other people.
But I thought a lot of people lose eye distant issues.
It depends on the articles you read, but there are some articles that will tell you that they're able to see better because of the video games. The people who do not end up needing glasses have like an opposite effect.
Oh, so like some people actually gain sight from it. Okay. Yeah.
And then
what about social media?
Social media, it's great for advertising.
Yeah.
It is great for keeping contact.
I get a lot of business through social media. That's the only reason why I have it.
Yeah. It is great for keeping up with friends and family. It is also great to record and document your life to share with other people.
Social aspects. I've made a lot of friends through social media too.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by social aspects.
Now the dark side.
I also met my husband through a dating app. Does that count as social media?
Yes, it is a form of social media because we're socially
High
connecting.
five to us.
There we go.
He rolled his eyes.
There is a lot of benefits, but unfortunately, there's a really dark side to it. You know, the internet is amazing. You don't hear people talk about the dark web.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, if you think about the context of being a Christian too and holistic health, like, I mean, just talk about sex. Sex in the context of marriage is a beautiful, wonderful blessing and a great thing. Anything outside of that is technically demonic in God's eyes. So same thing, like I think it's a heart issue again, which we talk about often in this podcast. Who are you doing it for?
Yeah.
If you're living a life not for Christ on any type of social media or on the internet at all, you're going to be sinning. So we've had like a whole porn episode about that and a bunch of other things. So, and yeah, a lot of that comes down to like how like people think that they can't be seen on the things that they look up or the things that they search or the things that they comment and that they do. That's why people can be so mean on social media. And most of them wouldn't even say a quarter of those things in person. I do feel like though social media has caused people to become so brazen that's why a lot more people now are so rude in public spaces or like just crass and say horrific things to people, where there used to be general kindness, a lot more kindness before the internet, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Common courtesy.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed learning how to cultivate God's creation from a biblical perspective. Holistic health is to prioritize whole person wellness through Christ. Like and comment on what topics we're casting seeds or casting pearls.
If you found this information provided useful, subscribe to our podcast for future updates, leave a review to help us improve, and share this episode. We would like to remind you before we leave that perfect health cannot be attained in this world.
Only spiritual salvation through sanctification and repentance to God and turning away from sin will give you a perfect body in the kingdom come. Nourish yourself in the Word, in prayer, and in biblical fellowship daily.
Thank you for joining us today, and a special thank you to our listeners for making this podcast possible.
Always praying.
Keep casting seeds.